Welcome back, everyone. We're Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the Daily Fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, and the websites by plebs. Joining us today, fellow OG Bitcoiner. We're talking about the Disrupt Meister. We've got Adam Meister joining us, but we're diving into the numbers first. Let's do it.
Number Time is brought to you by Bitcoin 2022. Is going to be the largest Bitcoin conference ever hosted in sunny Miami Beach, Florida. Get your tickets quickly before the price goes up, and you can take advantage of the link down below in the link description for 10% off your tickets to Bitcoin 2022.
At the time of this recording, the block height is 718,066. The Bitcoin price, 41,765. Chain rewrite days, 752. Total public Lightning capacity, we are holding steady, 3,320.96. Moscow time, 2394. Blocks to the halvening, 121,934. The numbers.
Brutal. But before we pass it, we move it along to the charts, because we are going to cover some charts today, because Phil found something really interesting. It's not speculation, it's some actual signal. Before we move on to that, I think you guys are going to find this really interesting. Adam Meister, this legend, this OG, has been in the game for a very, 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 very long time, okay? Adam.
Yes.
Is this normal? How are we doing? Because, you know, Phil and I are class of 2016, but we don't have the OG badges and, you know, scars that, you know, someone like yourself that's, you know, class 2013, I think below that. So, how are we doing, bro? Did last year surprise you? Were you on the boat of expecting 100K Bitcoin?
Well, I knew we were going to get to an all-time high, and we got to an all-time high. That's all I was expecting. I thought, yeah, it'll probably get up to 100K. It didn't. It didn't go as crazy as it did in 2017. But in theory, maybe it's not over yet. Maybe it's a little bit different this time, but maybe it's exactly the same. And this is the beginning of the sad times. I mean, I've seen some panic today. People talking about Kazakhstan. You know, when people are talking about Kazakhstan, people are losing their freaking minds. Freaking weak hands. Pound that like button. Kazakhstan like Tuchlis. I've seen it all. So when I'm hearing about Kazakhstan, I know, like, oh God, these people are desperate. But I was really pleased. I'm a lot richer than I was at the beginning of 2021. So I mean, heck, it was quite a ride. This time in 2021, it was like $40,000, wasn't it? And that was just like so amazing then. Now it's 2022. It's $40,000. People are crying about Kazakhstan. I mean, come on, put it in perspective, people. Put it in perspective. Yes, I've been through this for a while. It doesn't faze me at all, because I know Bitcoin always returns to its all-time high, and we're one day closer to an all-time high. You just got to remind yourself of that.
I like that attitude. See Adam's attitude? That's what happens when you have been down the rabbit hole for many, many, many years. You become like Adam. Strong hands. Yeah. Anyways, Phil, thoughts?
Yeah, you and I have only seen one bear market, so, you know, we've just got some minor cuts and bruises. You know, just basic stuff. Like Adam's gone through the meat grinder, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, you see that right there, you know, your comment about Kazakhstan, that's exactly it. People just grasping at straws, and we're, you know, it's the second you see the price drop, why'd the price drop? You know, and everyone's just scrambling, and we're all just looking for a reason. Why'd the price drop? And we found Kazakhstan, and they turned off the internet.
What did Borat do? It's Borat and Bitcoin. I care about Bitcoin. I don't care about Borat, okay? The people who care about Borat and Kazakhstan, you're going to lose all your money, dude. It's just, we're one day closer to an all-time high, all right?
Yeah, we are one day closer to an all-time high. That is absolutely true. Phil, you do have some data, though. Why don't you show everybody? It is bullish. It is bullish.
So So hold on, right? Because of course, even though Nico said it's not hopium, it's kind of hopium. It's kind of hopium.
Is it?
I feel like it's just because I'm interpreting it this way, right? I put out this tweet today at I don't even know what time, 9:52 a.m. Okay, and we were having this nice big dip, and I said, if you don't get it, I don't have time to explain it to you. Now, this candle here, this green candle, okay, this green candle is a buy candle. Essentially, okay, this shows the amount of volume of people buying up. Now, if we kind of zoom out, right, because this is not the way the candle actually finished. You could see there was 8 minutes left on the candle, okay? So if we go to this chart over here, we could see how it finished, okay? It completed the entire body of the dip, okay, and then proceeded to go higher. So look, the way I interpret that is that we started, right? We started to go down for whatever, the weekends, who knows, bad time of the day. Maybe they woke up unhappy. Like Adam said, they found Kazakhstan. The internet was off. It's time to sell. That's it. Bitcoin's dead. Okay, it's over. So for whatever reason, these people capitulated. These algorithms capitulated. But that green candle right after, that's a whole bunch of investors buying that. Okay, and buying that back up. I was definitely one of those people. I know there's a lot of other hodlers that were buying that dip. So to me, in the grand scheme of things, we're just right on track. And all that was a confirmation of base building. So bring it. I'm ready.
Bring it. So what you're trying to say, Phil, is that when we started to dip, there was a huge flood of people trying to buy that cheap corn. Flooding
below
in
40K?
Below 40K. They were just trying to buy it, and they couldn't stay below 40K for barely any time at all, because people were just trying to buy it back up. But I just want to say, those goddamn Kazakhstanis and ruining it for everybody. I'm just kidding. I don't have anything against Kazakhstan, but I feel like a lot of people sold on that FUD. Anyways, Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. Do you want to wrap up the numbers segment?
Yeah, I actually had a tweet out there that was just like that. I mean, we were on the same path, mind path there, I guess. TECHBALT, follow me over there. Tech Vault. I'm always tweeting stuff like that gets your hand freaking strong, people. All right. So yeah, you're not going to remember Kazakhstan in 4 years. Now, I will say this about Kazakhstan, though. It is good that the people rise up against their corrupt government and whatever. If you're in Australia, maybe you should worry. I don't know. You never know what people are bound to do in these unfree lands. Because, I mean, Australia might as well be Kazakhstan now. I just need to take a shot at Australia and New Zealand. I feel like doing that sometimes. Disgraceful. Anyway.
I absolutely agree, man. They're against freedom. But apparently not for world-famous tennis players. They play by different rules.
If you make a big deal out of it, they change the rules for you again. But that was ridiculous on its own anyway. So.
This whole thing is ridiculous. But the good news is Bitcoin fixes this. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Fail. The Daily Fail is brought to you by Amber App. Check them out, amber.app. It is the easiest way to buy Bitcoin. You can buy the Schiff. That's right. Every time Peter Schiff does a terrible tweet about Bitcoin, you can stack that. Anyways, the link is down below. All right, we've got 2 fails today. We're going to start off. This is actually the initial thread from Mozilla is the fail, and the response from Alex Gladstein is fantastic. So we're gonna dive into this one first. So here we go. Last week, we tweeted a reminder that Mozilla accepts cryptocurrency donations. This led to an important discussion about cryptocurrency's environmental impact. We're listening and taking action. Now, guys, you know exactly where this is going, okay? You like, we've been talking about the ESG FUD for how long? And we know that it's not quitting. We know that it's only intensifying and morphing. So now here we go. We've got Mozilla all of a sudden proclaiming, right? They're going to look into this. They're people of the planet, and they're making sure the planet's all good. All right, here we go. So starting today, they're reviewing if and how their current policy on crypto donation fits their climate goals. Because every browser should have a climate goal. It's very important. I care what they think about the climate. As they conduct the review, they're going to pause the ability to donate cryptocurrency. you know what? Very noble on Mozilla's part to think about the planet, and especially to target cryptocurrency. I can't believe this. When I read this, I was like boiling. All right, let's dive into Alex's response. People like Mozilla seem clueless on the dollar's negative externalities. USD, tied to oil, secured by military coercion, empower Saudis, discriminatory and closed system. BTC, runs on the cheapest energy, secured by peaceful math, empowers dissidents, neutral and open. And he links to an article uncovering the hidden costs of the petrodollar, which we're not gonna dive into that article in this because it's outside the scope of this fail. But do you see how hypocritical and psychotic these people are? Like, you're sitting there, you're using the petrodollar, like the level of, I don't even know if it's cognitive dissonance or just willful ignorance. I don't know. We could just throw all these words at it and see what sticks. But why even come out and make these statements? Like, Mozilla, shut up. Continue to just work on your browser, okay?
Adam has something to say. I saw him holding himself back. So Adam, why don't you hit that? Hit it, bro, hit it.
They're freaking. There's no logic. They're virtue signaling. They want to fit in with all their other CUCKs out there, okay? I'm not going to use bad language. I'll spell it out. They're trying to fit in with today's popular culture. Fitting in is overrated. It's totally, they want to be 80%ers. This would get, you're right, the ESG thing is ridiculous. All the corporations are virtue signaling. They don't even care about the darn even. They want to fit in. They think it'll get them customers. There's no logic. They don't care about what the sheik is freaking doing in Saudi Arabia either. They don't care about energy or anything like that. It's just a freaking show to show off to all these people, to be with the cool kids and everything. And so there's no thought involved in this at all. We need energy to progress, to have innovation. There would be no internet if people didn't use energy. We will innovate our way out of these supposed problems that we have. Okay, all right. There are no. We're living through a time where people are hypochondriacs in so many different ways. It's cool to be a hypochondriac. It's cool to think the world is over. It's going to end any day now. It's not. But of course, if we really did what these people are talking about, not what they want, but what they're talking about, we'd all have to go live in the woods and defecate in the woods. And just our lifestyle, our living standard will go down the stream, down the toilet. There will be no toilets anymore, okay? So this is all, Alex is wasting his time even replying to this guy with a logical thing about the petrodollar. It's not about that you're using dirtier energy than us. Don't even bring it to that level, okay? We all need to use energy. Let us all stop trying to tell people not to live their freaking lives. You worry about, if you want to go live in a sewer, if you want to go live by the stream and defecate by the stream, you do it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, okay? And I'm going to innovate, and the world is going to get better. It always gets better, but you need energy for that. All right, you need energy and you need fuel, and it's all a freaking game. So go be a CUCK Mozilla or whatever the heck you want to call it, Netscape. So yeah, that's my take on it. I don't even respect. I'm not, because if you start arguing with you're legitimizing their point of dirty versus clean energy and turning. No, I don't even get that. You're a CUCK trying to show off the hypochondriacs. That's what you are, and that's what Bitcoin is not.
Absolutely.
And it'll be great when Bitcoin is the only one left that is doing supposedly dirty proof of work. It will be the last one standing, dude, because all the others are centralized and they're all going to want to fit in. We're going to be the biggest villain of them all. Bring it on, because this is where the big boys play. And maybe being the biggest villain of them all will wake up some of these normies out there that they're in a trance with this climate change nonsense. It's not, it's nothing to worry about. Innovation will fix it.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think that the biggest hypocrites was that if you paid attention to the environmental thing in Glasgow or whatever, all of them, they took giant motorcades, all these private jets, burning all this fossil fuel that apparently they want us peasants to care about, but they are allowed to use and burn and whatever. And look, we're not saying that climate change isn't real, but what we are saying, right, is that to fix this, right, you want innovation. And how do you get innovation? By using more energy. And these people would like you to believe that it's using less energy that is going to save the planet. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It literally, it's like it's interconnected. The more energy the human race uses, the better it is for everybody. The more people are lifted out of poverty. And what Bitcoin is gonna do, and only Bitcoin, right? Because it sets a bottom, right? Before Bitcoin, all that energy that was overproduced was going to go to waste. After Bitcoin, that energy now has value. Bitcoin is going to make the energy markets even more efficient, right? So yeah, I completely agree with Adam. Let's use more energy to make people's lives even better, not go backwards and start having to poop in sewers and on the side of the street. Let's not do that, because that's a bad idea. But anyways, Phil, do you have any more fails?
Yes. All right. So, before we dive into this one, just want you guys to think, when your scam has run its course, what do you do? Well, in some cases, what you do is you pivot. And that is exactly what the creator of Bitclout did, right? Because Bitclout's pretty much dead, and somebody's got to keep the lights on. So anyways, here's a tweet from CK Snarks, right? Works for Bitcoin Magazine, fellow Bitcoin pleb, used to do the POV podcast. Here we go. Laugh out loud at Nader Theory. Okay, for the people who don't know, that's Nader Al-Naji. He's the founder of, and it's interesting that he doesn't mention Bitclout here, but he is the founder of Bitclout nonetheless. Anyways, deleting all of his tweets and rebranding Bitclout to DISO. Oh, nice. That's so clever, right? You wait till you find out what that stands for, Nico. This is priceless. Anyways, so guys, you guys all remember, right? Bitclout, right? We dumped on this. We went through that whole thing with, Robert Greedlove, and he sold out for Bitclout, which totally wasn't worth it, right? So just a quick review. Everybody remembers? Everyone gets their own coin. Yay! All right, happy unicorns and everything. Well, turns out the founder, just wasn't making what he wanted to anymore, my opinion. And now he needs to pivot. So here we go. Let's take a look at DISO. All right, the decentralized social network. That does sound interesting. In this paper, we introduced DISO, short for Decentralized Social. So clever. The first and only blockchain custom built from the ground up to power and scale a new category of decentralized social applications to 1 billion users. That just totally sounds like the intro to a terrible B movie. Anyways, while much research has been dedicated to scaling decentralized finance, or DeFi, which we've shown time and time again is really just centralized finance, okay, relatively little has been invested in building blockchains that can scale social media applications. What the? Anyways, even though the latter category is arguably just as large, if not larger, and holds just as much promise for value creation. That's right. So somehow, your decentralized identity, which is going to be stored in this, in this centralized network on these centralized servers. This needs to be money, Nico. And you need to have a token behind it.
Well, obviously it needs to be money. It obviously needs to be money because the founders, that's the only way they're going to get rich. So it needs to be money so that they can benefit. Obviously. Duh.
So it's interesting, right? Because as I was doing some poking through this, okay, this should definitely be a red flag, okay? Check this out. We're going to go back to their website. Look at what happens when you click on About. He completely wiped out that he had anything to do with BitClout. And he's replaced it all with this DSO stuff. But unfortunately, he doesn't seem to recall that the internet doesn't forget anything. And there's a whole bunch of Bitcoiners that did tons of research on BitClout that know exactly who he is. And now this guy's just pivoting and rebranding to scam and fleece a whole new group of unsuspecting noobs.
Yep.
So there you go.
Hey, it worked the first time for him. Why not do it the second time? So, yeah, man, this is absolutely disgraceful, but this is what Simply Bitcoin, the fail segment, is for, to call out these scammers. Anyways, I'm going to let Adam wrap it up. Go at it, Adam. Go at it.
Well, this BitClout dude, I mean, they gave me a BitClout. I'm like, what is this? What is this thing? But I will hand it to him. This DSO, he actually pivoted to this a few weeks ago, maybe even months ago. I read a story. I was already ready for this. I had read the story, and when I saw Christian's tweet, I knew it would bring attention to it. But I was like, yeah, I already heard about this. The biggest takeaway from this, and first of all, this idea is better than that idea. At least it's not. I mean, whatever happens. Okay, that thing was crazy. Giving me this, I couldn't believe. I didn't really get it. But this is, more trendy with the 3.0, whatever. But the biggest takeaway is, and I have lived through this so many times, originally it was with these BitConnect guys. They were the type of dudes, they would talk a big game, and then they would erase everything. They would erase their videos, they would erase their Twitter, they would erase I have no respect for the people who do that, okay? None at all. You got to really worry about people like that, all right? They just, you say something, leave it up there, dudes. What does it tell you when a person, gets rid of even one or two or lots of videos? There's sometimes maybe it was a bad curse word or something, okay, give someone the benefit of the doubt on a few. But tens of hundreds of them, getting rid of them. And the funny thing is, this guy knows he can get away with it because some of us have good memories. The 80%ers keep on buying into it. And those BitConnect guys, I'm not naming who they are, but they were known for erasing stuff for quite some time. And then people didn't care, and they got people to buy that BitConnect, okay? So he'll be able to, I'm not going to say he's like BitConnect. I don't want to say that. Some people will say, BitClout sounds like BitConnect. But no, people will forget that he erased it. You really got to worry about people who erase everything, really, okay? And I take pride. I got all sorts of stuff up on my channel that maybe I was wrong about. I don't go crying away and running the internet mommy to erase it all for me, okay? No, be a man. It's up there. Everything should be left up there. If you're erasing stuff, you're shady, dude.
You got something to hide. Absolutely 100% right. And yeah, man, this is a shitcoiner. He had a working formula. He's trying it again because he wants your Bitcoin. And don't be dumb enough to give it to him. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily Meme Review. The Daily Meme Review is brought to you by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's stories, articles, comics by toxic Bitcoiners. Be quick about it, though. It's scarce. There's only 1,000 copies made per volume. Get your print of Citadel 21 today. The first meme is brought to us by the legendary RD_BTC, one of the meme lords, NFT trader checking his portfolio. It's a clown. Absolutely hilarious. Moving on to the next one. It's by Dirt GG. The Web 2.0. Web 3.
That's awesome.
Absolutely hilarious. Moving on to this one. It's brought to us by Paul Mission 21. Thanks for the tag, by the way. Keep doing that. What kind of hooker takes Bitcoin? A rich one. Very wise. Very wise. All right, next one is brought to us by I can't pronounce that, but thank you, homie. Sir, this spot is for disabled people only. 90% of my portfolio is Dodge. Sorry for bothering you. All right. Next one is brought to us by Cityland. You can get your shitcoin action figure now, hardware or as NFT. Me leaving a party because I opened my portfolio. Absolutely hilarious. Moving on to the next one. By No Shitcoins 21, I gave you Bitcoin. And you bought shitcoins in JPEGs. right, moving on to the last one by Alex Waltz Avocado, raw_avocado. You know this true. Tinder profile pic versus first date. This is deep.
Respect.
If you built a node, you know what this is.
Yeah.
Anyways, for those memes, I'm gonna give it a very special score. My croc with the honey badger that I got from Cloaks, and a taco pleb. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Anyways, Phil, what about you?
Those were awesome memes. Definitely enjoyed them, and for that, I am gonna give it these Zoltar Speaks fortune-telling cards.
Okay.
Fortune-telling cards.
Interesting. All right, Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. What would you give those memes?
Oh my God, that Doge one was excellent. I'll give it. I'll keep the theme going here. One yarmulke, because one of the guys that was in that meme thing there, he used to wear a yarmulke about 2,000 years ago. One of the guys pictured there. So yeah, one yarmulke.
Ah, very good, very good. I like it. You can never go wrong with a yarmulke. What is it? Shabbat Shalom, right? Shabbat Shalom.
It's a kippah.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Friday. My bad. Sorry, guys. Okay. Anyways, guys, we want to know: do you agree with our scores? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comment section. And of course, subscribe to us on alternative video platforms because we say things that piss off people in high places, central banks. And like rumble.com and our personal favorite, bitcointv.com. And join our Telegram group. Link us some Bitcoin memes to review because of the Bitcoin meme review. And we need Bitcoin memes to review because of the Bitcoin meme review. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily News. The Daily News is brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch. Like the 3D printed Bitcoin Freedom Grenade, it opens up, you put your favorite hardware wallet in there. Or the 3D printed Bitcoin Honey Badger also opens up, you put your hardware wallet, really cool stuff. Anyways, you can take advantage of the link down below for 5% off anything on the store, CryptoCloaks.com. So, like we've been covering, guys, we've been covering this super we've been on top of this, okay? And this year, really it was 2021, and this year as well, Bitcoin is going mainstream. We had Michael Saylor orange pill the F out of Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson has 3.5 million nightly viewers on his talk show, but now Adam Curry went on the Joe Rogan Experience, which is the most watched show in the world. 11 million viewers per episode, and he has started to orange pill Joe Rogan. This is the beginning, guys. We've been telling you, Bitcoin is going mainstream. We have the president of a country, Nayib Bukele, saying he's stacking the dip. He's fighting the fiat economists. We had Tucker Carlson completely orange pilled, and now we got Joe Rogan beginning to start getting orange pilled. Let's see what Adam Curry had to say on the Joe Rogan Experience.
This is all I'm working on because there's a whole slew of young people who are just opting out and they're moving to building parallel systems, parallel networks, which is pretty much the only thing you can do. We have all the technology, everything we need. My two projects, I bring them together, brought them together, is podcasting that is protected and Bitcoin. And I'm just on the Bitcoin train because I believe that my money is safer there. I'm not talking about versus the U.S. dollar, just in general. And I think I think that we will see that in our future as very protective for everything. You know, as they say, Bitcoin fixes this. If you can fix the money, that's the broken part. The money system is broken. It causes the inflation. It causes the misery. It causes wars because it's linked to oil. So we have to go protect all that shit. It's fucked up. The dollar. I love America. We used to have our own. The banks would create dollars. They were promissory notes until this Federal Reserve Act came into play. It was a takeover. That's what Kennedy was talking about. The power that is unspoken by man. It's this banking system. If we continue to be in that, we're just fucked.
So again, this is Adam Curry telling it to Joe Rogan, who has 11 million followers, and we have a continuation of yet another billionaire, right? We have Ray Dalio. We have Ricardo Salinas. We had the founder of Interactive Brokers that we reported on last week, right? We have a bunch of other billionaires. Yet another billionaire investor Bill Miller now has 50% of his personal wealth in Bitcoin. Right now, the interesting thing that he had to say about this is this. Check it out. I think that this is to quote him. I think that the average investor should ask himself or herself, what do you have in your portfolio that has the kind of track record, number one, is very, very underpenetrated, can provide a service of insurance against financial catastrophe that no one else could provide, and can go up 10 times or 50 times? The answer is nothing. That is yet another billionaire saying that. And we have Adam Curry on the most watched show in the world, the Joe Rogan Experience. The message is going out. More and more people are waking up to the scam that is fiat currency, and we're having a giant awakening. And the elites and their legacy media corporate media cronies are absolutely having a meltdown because of it. They can't stop the signal. The signal is getting out there. And as this inflation thing gets worse, more and more and more people are going to start asking questions. What is this money that I'm using? Why is it stealing from me? What is a better alternative? And that alternative is Bitcoin. Phil?
Seeing Adam Curry explain that on Joe Rogan, okay, and it's very interesting that you see when you have people like this explaining this kind of stuff, it makes those of us who have been saying these types of things throughout our lives. It helps validate our ideas. And what I'm explaining is that he mentioned JFK, right? Like there was a speech that JFK gave, which Nico, you and I have talked about in the past, right? It's called The Press and the Public. It took place in, I believe it was 1962, okay? Just before, I think it was just months before he was assassinated. And he essentially explained that not only this, he was referring to the U.S. country, but, indirectly was referring to the world, that there is a unseen military industrial complex that is being built.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
It exists, through intimidation rather than cooperation, and through subversion, okay? And, don't get me wrong, there's not too many politicians that have attempted to tell the truth, but, he had, for whatever reason, he was a populist president, and there's a lot of people listening to him. So it was very dangerous that he specifically was saying those things. And of course, we all know how history turned out. Okay, so you know what? This is our chance once again to take the power back. Okay, we don't get too many opportunities throughout history to, for things like this to happen. And if we screw this up, there's no one else to blame but us. Okay? There really isn't, because this is our chance once again to take the power out of the money creationists' hands. Okay, and to put that value from the network back into ours. So we can't let this slip.
Absolutely. And our main tool, the peaceful revolution, is Bitcoin. Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, what are your thoughts on Adam Curry on Joe Rogan?
Well, I think back to 2015 during the dark days of the bear markets. And it was just a dream. No one would believe you if they said they'll be talking about Bitcoin on the national news, on the big podcast and everything. And now we're living it. And I knew Rogan has mentioned it off and on. Sometimes it's good to have one guest bring it up in a segment, but we're one step away from just him having a pure Bitcoin guest on. And yes. I think that is it'll just be a Bitcoin. The guy will tell you, he's got guys on for over 2 hours. The person will talk about it for like hours. We're close to that. Lex Friedman's already done that a few times. He's had many Bitcoin people on. Rogan hasn't done that yet. We're getting close, but I just put it all in perspective. I mean, people would have laughed in my face if I would have, predicted this back in 2015, 16, anything like this. So it's amazing how much it's grown, and yet the world still doesn't exactly know about it. Unfortunately, people need it to be made kosher for them or whatever. So they need someone that they respect to bring it up. So once he has a full show on it, that'll be a whole nother level. But again, don't put anyone on a pedestal either. People can always, you mentioned beforehand, all these billionaires and whoever who have bought it. Once we get into a bear market again, some of the people that we're bragging about that got into it now, they'll be the first ones to dump and stuff. So don't put someone too much on a pedestal because they're going to let you down and everything. But it's great to see it being talked on Joe Rogan's show when you put it in perspective. It's very nice.
Absolutely. I think the signal there that Adam said is don't have heroes in Bitcoin. If you've been in this space long enough, you realize that 99% of them let you down eventually. But anyways, moving on to this. Wow, the Kakafia price is doing its thing. It's dumping. The actual fundamentals of Bitcoin are getting stronger. The incentives of Bitcoin are doing its thing, right? We reported this on a couple days ago. Adam mentioned it in the beginning of the show. Major mining pools, Bitcoin's hash rate nears recovery as Kazakhstan's internet is partially restored. So not only did the hash rate recover, but people around the world saw it as an opportunity. Spanish lawmakers seize opportunity amid Kazakhstan's Bitcoin mining collapse, right? So the protests in Kazakhstan have repercussions all around the world, but also for Bitcoin. We propose that Spain positions itself as a safe destination for investments in Bitcoin and shitcoins to develop a flexible, efficient, and safe sector, right? Those are the incentives of Bitcoin playing out. But most importantly, this is the nuclear bomb. This is the signal. Marathon bought 78,000 Bitcoin miners for $879 million. That is absolutely mind-blowing. The deal will add about 78,000 new Antminer S19 XPs. These are the new top of the line from Bitmain to Marathon's fleet and cost $879 million. With the latest purchase of S19 XPs, we will be growing our Bitcoin mining operations to approximately 199,000 total miners, 23.3 exahashes by early 2023. So why is this a big deal? Connect the dots, everybody, right? You have billionaires saying that they're putting 50% of their personal wealth into Bitcoin. You have an investment of $879 million into Bitcoin mining. Smart money does not invest in things that they do not believe is going to be a good investment back. So, while everyone is paying attention to the daily ups and downs, right? In the background, there is solid building. There's people investing into Bitcoin mining. I come from the mining world, so I fundamentally believe that when the hash rate goes up, the price tends to follow. And what this is telling me is that there's a lot of hash rate that's about to come online. And as you could see, even if Afghanistan, even if Kazakhstan decide because of the turmoil in that country, if they decide to go offline, you already have a Spanish politician saying, hey, bring those miners over there. That is the power of the incentives of Bitcoin. We're watching it play out in real time. That is the signal, right? So the Kakafia price, which is why we don't like to talk about it in the show, we don't like to speculate on the show, that is the noise. If you pay attention to the fundamentals in the background, they have never been so freaking bullish. Phil?
Oh man, you took the words right out of my mouth. Like I was just about to say, that is so bullish. You kidding me? $879 million. And I mean, I'm sorry, I totally forget that billionaire's name. Bill.
Bill. Let's call him Bill.
Billionaire Bill. Okay, 50% of his wealth into Bitcoin. I mean, this is, look, you know, let's take a look at what just happened, right? That article that you just read through was December 29th. Okay, it's 11. That's like 12 days ago. So we definitely weren't sitting. You know what I mean? Like we weren't in that great of a quote unquote caca price position back then either. And these companies just dumped. That company, sorry, specifically Marathon, just dumped $879 million into that many miners. Okay, like that's not nothing. That is something. And again, it's what you said about the smart money, you know? These people are moving in. And again, if we zoom out, right? Bitcoin, every single day that passes, Bitcoin gets stronger. Every single block that is mined, Bitcoin gets more secure. Every time another miner comes onto the network, okay? Like all of these things help to add to the infrastructure's security and its resilience, okay? So, and it's only gotten stronger. Like when I was in 2017, I thought it was unstoppable already. Okay? And now here we are, it's 2022. And it's only grown more resilient. So, I mean, how much more unstoppable does it become? Anyways, it's interesting that we have such a bullish episode at such a, you know, caca price time.
This is why we like to
you'd think we'd be sitting at 72K right now.
This is why we focus on the fundamentals, on the signal. Adam, you want to wrap up the news segment?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge money coming into Bitcoin. It's been happening quite a lot in the last 3 years, 2 years, whatever. And it's still, you have these ignorant people who have no, they're like, the United States is going to make it illegal. Like, they're not going to do it when so many mainstream, tremendously wealthy people and organizations have so much invested in it. You're not just going to turn this off. And the people that still say it's going to go to zero, it's a scam, they don't have any clue about this basic, tremendous amount of money from established entities coming in Bitcoin. It's like it's undeniable. It's undeniable. This is not some fringe little thing that some people still try to paint it as because they're ignorant and they're envious. Who knows? They don't know what the heck's going on. Ponzi scheme, this pyramid scheme. It's the things that people try to say when it's just embarrassing. What they say, it's a mainstream thing, like it or not. If people like being outside the mainstream, this isn't outside the mainstream anymore, dudes. Not at all.
Mm-mm. This is in the mainstream. I would say it's in the beginning of going mainstream. In 5 years from now, I can't even imagine where this is going to be. If you have you have the largest broadcasters on the face of the earth, at least in the US, Tucker Carlson, you have Joe Rogan, they're talking about this. You have billionaires putting 50% of their net worth. You have these giant mega mining corporations investing almost $1 billion in Bitcoin mining. They would not be doing that if they did not feel bullish about the future of Bitcoin. That is the signal, and the price is a freaking distraction. But anyways, Phil, there was an open source software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. The software releases are brought to you by CipherSafe. Check them out, cyphersafe.io. They've got the Cypher wheel, which I normally show, and now I just got myself the Cypher Grid. That's right, it comes with the punch tool and the tamper-resistant wire. Like I always say, it's Nico-proof, it's Phil-proof, and now it's Adam-proof as well. The link is down below. All right, we've got TDEX version 1.2.2 that was released. It's down below in the show notes. Guys, don't forget, Monday through Saturday, rain or shine, you know the deal, we post. Okay? You want to check out our audio-only episodes? We are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, and we're on Anchor.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. Before we go, I want to give a very, very special shout-out to an OG Bitcoiner and a friend of the show. His name is Adam Meiser. You can go give him a follow at TechBalt on Twitter. And definitely go check out his legendary YouTube channel. This guy has been telling you to buy Bitcoin for half a decade. you can go give it a follow at Bitcoin Meister on the YouTube. Anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from the central bankers, NFTers, all of the above, and the Bitcoin news from the bleep perspective, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Don't be an ESG slave pooping in a stream. It's time for Bitcoin.